Hey fam, welcome to the channel that talks a lot about the 100 girlfriends who really love you, manga series, light novel series, and soon to be anime, which will air on October 8th. Please do check it out. And it also happens to be Momoha's birthday. I just want to throw it out there. Today we're gonna be taking a look at a post rather that was sort of resurfaced right on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, right? It was a post from Nozawa Sensei, who is the illustrator of this manga series, right? And the post essentially shared the initial designs, the proposed designs of Rentarou, right? The main protagonist of the story, and it's very interesting to see these different styles of Rentarou, right? It's kind of refreshing to see them, or to see him rather, in a new light. And I just want to give my sort of interpretation on and thoughts about it as well. So with that being said, let's start with Exhibit A, red-haired Rentarou. First initial thoughts rather for this red color palette would be it's sort of linked to passion, right, or love. I could be wrong, but that's sort of my thought process on it, right? Because Rentarou, as we know, is this character who really delivers that sort of, well, love, has immense love and sincerity and, genuineness that he sort of gives, right, in the series. And that sort of, red hair, red eyes, that sort of reflects that, right? It could also mean that he's very, passionate, right, overall, in general, right? But I have to say as well, on top of that, this apart from the red eyes and red hair color scheme that he has to it, the red tie, right, uniform red tie along with a gray suit, it has sort of that monochromatic or duo color tone feel to it that I think it works really great as well. Initial designs, looking at the school uniform, even these initial designs, it's as simple as it can be, blazer, school uniform, and I think I quite like it. If it were to be in a blue color, right, blue suit with red tie, white inner polo, red hair, red eyes, I think that would look pretty cool and amazing in my opinion, right? It's nice to see. But yeah, moving forward, taking a look at all of the hairstyles, right, from the different proposed designs, right, you notice that it has a way with the bangs, especially on how it flows in a particular direction. The first model, for instance, or the first proposed title, character design rather, is fairly simple, with his bangs covering the sort of center of his forehead, but there's also a bit of exposure on the left righter side, right, of it. And it's something that doesn't really, it's not a type that would really that his bangs would completely cover his eyes, right, or one eye, like one of those cyclop designs of a character. Moving on with the second, third, and fourth models, they have these bangs sort of facing the righter side, right? And if you notice as well, there's a bit of styling on the upper portion of the hair right here. Yeah, all of these designs right here, it kind of looks, at first glance, I thought it kind of looks like a crab's claw or pincers, whatnot. I could be wrong in thinking, right? But since this is Rentarou we're talking about, right, and there's that red color scheme, I talked about love and passion, right, in relation to his character. I could be wrong in thinking that this should resemble a sort of heart, right? Because it does have that sort of, hearty shape to it in a way, but it's just too narrow, right? I could be wrong. Or if it's not a heart, it could be a flower petal. Could be, right? I don't know. But flower petal, I think that looks cool. Model number 2 kind of looks like Kusuri's as well. Kusuri's hairstyle, right, and hair color as well. Even the face design, especially the eyes, looks really cute, and the antenna is quite adorable. It still follows that sort of two-piece the two-piece prong antenna, so to speak, right? Model number 5 also follows a similarly close resemblance to that of the first model, but there's a bit more density or coverage, right, with these bangs. And this one, in my opinion, this looks more like a flower petal design, right? And there's also traces of that claw-like shape as well. You can see its outline right here, right? And the sixth model would have Rentarou kind of look like a guy with class, a rich kid or something like that, especially with the concave claw-like style that it has to it. It's heavily accentuated in this design, and it really does give him that, rich kid look, right? I don't know if it's just me, but in hindsight, especially with a hairstyle like this, I think it's because, thinking that Rentarou would most likely be styling his hair every morning, right? When he gets up in the morning, he gels up his hair within that specific style rather, and that sort of, routine is what gave me the impression that he's a well-presented individual, right? But because no way that's natural, or could be, who knows, right? If it were natural, I think that'd be pretty cool, right? Because this design by nature is really unique, right? And to my knowledge, I haven't seen a harem protagonist or any other character for that matter with a similar style. Maybe I did, or I just forgot, or something that I knew someone that closely resembles it, right? Exhibit B, dark-haired Rentarou. Now this is getting more into closer, right, to what we to Rentarou's design that we have right now, right? So it's similar with the first, third, and sixth models have that sort of concave claw petal heart styling gimmick to it, right? And if, in my opinion, I want to talk a bit about this the styling of the sixth model right here. For cosplay wise, I think I could do it. In my opinion, I think it would be easy for me to be able to style it, and I think it seems fairly simple as well. I don't know, but I kind of like model number 6 design as well. I think it looks really great for Rentarou, right? Models number 2 and 4, the second and fourth, kind of looks similar with each other, right? But there's a difference in the hair spikiness, right? Or seeing the individuality or separation of the locks of hair that they have, right? That he has, right? The model number 7 looks like Oesige-kun from the quintessential quintuplets movie with that ribbon, like a hoge antenna going on. But the bangs wise, hair wise, excluding the antenna on top, fairly simple as well, simply designed for that matter. Model number 5, the 5th model, right here, has Rentarou look like one of those sporty or playful kinds of protagonists, right? That you'd think that they're a comic relief character or whatnot. But the thing is, right, it's also refreshing to see a protagonist with a hairstyle that has hair on the shorter spectrum, right? Or hair with shorter hair for that matter, right? Kind of like mine in a way, if it's like this, where the forehead is seen more, right? Because there's a lot, considering especially there's a lot of manga and anime and even light novel characters that have really quite long bangs, not long as it would cover their eyes. Some they do, but just long enough that you could see their eyes and really cover their forehead to some degree. But I guess that's just part of the styling, right? The styling and drawing of these characters, right? And you know what? Overall, I really love the designs of these characters, right? Or the proposed designs, rather. Because for one thing, it's about, especially towards their unique gimmick or styling to it, which is the sort of claw, concave, overhanging bangs that kind of looks like a crab's claw or petal or flower design to it, right? Whatever you want to call it. That sort of uniqueness to it, right, is really refreshing to see, especially in a world, yeah, of course, a world, or especially when there's an abundance, right, I should say, right, when there's an abundance of harem protagonists. Not all of them, but most of them, right, have their hairstyles in a simply designed manner, right? But to their credit, it also kind of makes sense in a way, right, considering the fact that a lot of these protagonists are in fact students, right? Or rather, they are based in a more contemporary real world setting, right? Practical setting, so to speak, in a way, right? And such hairstyles are also as real as it can be, right? But yeah, there are tons of different hairstyling choices, designs for men that each protagonist could also use on their own, right? But I guess it also kind of depends on the authors and the illustrators themselves on what design they want their character to be, right? Just let them cook, right? But there are also these sketches as well from Nozawa Sensei, right, of what the hairstyles, right, would look like in various expressions and how they work. I've talked about this in my daily dose of 100 Kanojo shorts as well, about Rentarou's design being simple and have similar qualities and characteristics to that of other harem protagonists, with one of his distinguishable features rather, being his eyebrows, right? That makes him stand above the rest, appearance-wise at least, right? His school uniform is as simple as it can be, hairstyle as well, and yeah, all of those things that make him seem like a pretty simple or quote-unquote generic protagonist, right? But I am not necessarily complaining about it because over the years that I've read this manga, I've really grown to love Rentarou's design and his eyebrows. I think they're really, lovely, nice, and it's a nice, again, yeah, refreshing perspective to see that from a protagonist, right? But the one aspect, family, that I think you would also agree with, right? The one aspect that I fell in love with towards Rentarou's character even more than just his appearance, right, is his personality, family. It's his warm, loving, kind, and genuine personality as a protagonist, right? As a person, as a character in this harem love comedy series where heroines don't lose. And with that being said, take care, family.